Hello there and welcome to another episode of Ringgit Cents Plus. I'm your host, Azaria Tagaya. Now, on Ringgit Cents Plus, we've often encouraged our viewers to get adequate insurance coverage to protect yourself. So we were quite surprised to hear the story of Sahrom Ahmad. Sahrom had flown to London on December 12th to attend his daughter, Nur Amalina's graduation. But he never got to do that. Unfortunately, just after arriving in London, Sahrom suffered a stroke. Now, he's now at a hospital in London. His family is burdened with a medical bill close to 70,000 British pounds, or almost 367,000 ringgit. This doesn't even include the cost that would be incurred in the case of his medical evacuation to bring him back home to Malaysia. Now, what is interesting in this case is that Sahrom had bought a travel insurance policy from AXA Afen General Insurance Berhad with a 300,000 ringgit cover before flying off. Sahrom's family has been trying to get the insurance company to pay for his medical bill and bring this husband and father home. Well, we decided to follow up on the story with AXA and the General Insurance Association of Malaysia, or PM, to get their comments. We spoke to Anthony Lee, chairman of PM, which has been following the case.
What we've done straight away is we notified the insurance company here in Malaysia, particularly got hold of the CEO, to let him know that this case is very urgent and needs their urgent attention.
When we reached out to AXA, they gave us this statement stating that they've been in contact to offer further assistance to the family and will not comment on the details. News Straits Times correspondent in London, Sahrom Ahmad, who has also been following the story, managed to speak to Nur Amalina on her father's condition.
He's stable in his own way. He opens his eyes sometimes, he moves his hands sometimes, but probably he's not fully awake. But the doctor informed me and the hospital informed me that he's fit to fly and he's okay for us to bring him back home.
The family has been in negotiations with AXA over the last few days. According to Nur Amalina, AXA's position has changed a few times. The family was initially told that they have to pay first for both the hospital bill and his medical evacuation and then claim it back from AXA. However, in the latest communication to the family, AXA has changed its decision again.
They say that both medical expenses and repatriation are not payable since they say this is a pre-existing, they classify it as a pre-existing illness, so they will not pay us for medical expenses as well as repatriation. But they do offer us ringgit Malaysia 100,000, but we, for now, me and my family decided not to accept the offer due to some reason.
With the information we got from Nur Amalina, we decided to take a closer look at the travel insurance policy Sahrom bought and what the fine print said. We found a copy on AXA's website and read through it. We spotted a few things of note. Under Section 3, Medical and Other Expenses, it states that AXA will reimburse you as a direct result of bodily injury or illness. Notice the use of the word reimburse. That means you pay first and then submit your claims upon your return to Malaysia. Under that is Section 3A, which is about hospitalization. The policy will make advance payment to the hospital if you get into an accident. However, it does not mention anything about hospitalization for illness. The policy also defines pre-existing medical conditions as having received medical treatment, diagnosis, or advice from a doctor for a condition within a 6-month period before the start of the policy. It's a pretty broad definition, but it basically means if you already have a medical condition such as heart problems and you do get a heart attack overseas, the policy will not cover you. This isn't the first time someone has traveled overseas, gotten sick, and is saddled with a large medical bill. While not specifically commenting on Sahrom's case, Anthony Lee, the chairman of PM, says that pre-existing medical conditions are the most common reasons why a claim for a travel insurance policy is denied.
Yeah, pre-existing is definitely one, right? That's typically one where people are concerned. And there's usually an argument about is it a pre-existing condition or not. And sometimes it can be a bit gray, right? Because in typical medical conditions, it's not always black and white, whether the resultant ailment was as directly caused by the pre-existing condition or not. So this is where you need very good experts on hand to, assess the situation and make a determination.
We asked Lucas Oy, the director of insurance at Ringgit Plus, is it common for travel insurance companies to ask travelers to pay for their medical bills first while overseas before making a claim from the insurance company?
Some travel insurance policies, they actually will pay for your medical expenses upfront. Terms like cashless medical claims or medical expenses. Do look out for that when you're buying your travel insurance policy. However, the majority of travel insurance policies is on a reimbursement basis that are sold in Malaysia. So do look out for that in the policy document or the terms and conditions in the product disclosure sheet.
What about those who have medical insurance? Will your medical policy cover you overseas if your travel insurance policy doesn't? According to PM, the answer is no.
It's a very different cost structure, right? So all the medical policies here are typically for Malaysia only. There are a couple of insurance companies that sell global policies. They are very, very expensive. I mean, as you well know, if you have a medical situation in the US and you're admitted to a US hospital in intensive care, it is going to cost you multiple times what it would cost in Malaysia, and therefore the premiums don't cover that. So typically that's the case. You should actually talk to your doctor and say, I'm going to go on this travel. Do you advise it, right? So, a typical example is with low-cost carriers, everyone's very adventurous. And we typically get families taking their grandparents, going to China, walking up some beautiful mountain. The air is very thin. They've never done any exercise. Suddenly they're hiking up, 1,000 meters. That's going to be bad. You're going to be stressing yourself. So make sure you go on a holiday that is suitable for your medical condition, I would say.
Anthony adds, for the majority of the cases, travel insurance does work and has provided coverage for many who needed help while traveling. As for Sahrom Ahmad, Malaysia Airlines has also been in contact with the family to offer their assistance. We wish Sahrom a safe journey home and hopes he gets well soon. If you want to learn more about travel insurance before buying a policy, Ringgit Plus has more articles explaining what it covers at their site. On our Facebook page, we've been receiving questions from viewers on how to better manage their money. We received quite a few requests for help from fresh graduates. So after the break, we're going to be doing a financial makeover for a fresh graduate. In the meantime, like our Facebook page and find us on YouTube. We have many more personal finance tips for you. See you in a bit.